What a place. Like, I mean, the light you're in here, I know you're saying it gets a little bit hot with this beautiful weather, but goddamn, it looks gorgeous. So I'm here with the beautiful Ben. I was thinking on my way down here, in the last 10 years, gyms in Ireland have gone from 311 to 831. So that's a real reflection of just how we live now compared to 10 years ago, that people are very aware and conscious of what's good for them and what actually does make a difference to their, well, not only daily life, but longevity and all the rest.
Absolutely. Well, people are starting to realise that the key to health is movement and fitness, both from the inside and outside. It's very important. We know now from a research point of view that the key to maintaining healthy balance in your life is to having good strength, good movement, good flexibility, and being able to basically use your body the way it's designed.
Like me, like you're talking about me. I can feel the way you're talking about
yourself,
me.
Exactly.
Good man, that's the right answer. Now we should say, when it comes to Platinum Physio, your goal is to sort of do simple things from the start, because I think people can sometimes think, oh, well, that's just some other people do that, and you have to be already an Instagram model to even go near this. But
exactly.
It's nothing to do with that. It covers everything from injuries to
Absolutely. Well, look, our the real key thing, and why we're so passionate about, is doing the simple things well. Physio is a simple enough thing if you apply the correct principles. We try to employ the best physios, so we usually look at people with master level qualification to try and make sure they're applying the best techniques and the best assessment techniques in particular. The one area that I see a big issue in our profession is that we're struggling to get a consistency of approach when it comes to assessment.
Right.
Where we try to train our physios to a point that we're all providing a fairly high level of assessment, so then we're all kind of playing off the same hymn sheet, if that makes sense. From there, then it's about designing the correct approach for each individual patient. But it's keeping things simple from the start, doing simple things really well, trying to get some kind of diagnosis or some way of explaining what's happening with the patient and keeping it in layman's terms.
And you want to tailor it to fit, that it fits that person's needs, and I noticed too that you kind of have this, not just during the hours that they're here. You have apps and programs that they can basically maintain and have a sense that they're still connected to this, this particular, kind of program of fitness, and it does seem to be quite all-encompassing. I don't know whether it took a long time to come to this sort of realization that you really need to, treat everybody as an individual and what they might actually need. But then it's not just, come in for an hour every week and you're going to be fine. There's a recognition of, this needs to sort of be part of your life.
Absolutely. Look, we always go back to this phrase, movement is medicine. Movement is the key to really succeeding in reducing pain and discomfort in the body in particular, but also for the mind. It's exceptionally important. We try to provide, a level of care that gives people some feedback outside of the clinical hours. The clinical hours that we spend here with someone could be an hour out of someone's week, for instance.
Right.
Whereas there's numerous other occasions where someone might need a little bit of a helping hand. Right. So we use an app called PhysiTrack. In this app, we can communicate with the patient if they're having any difficulty with any of the exercises we've prescribed. We prescribe exercises through this app. The patient downloads the app onto their phone or onto their laptop or desktop. They then go watch the exercises after we've demonstrated to them in the clinic, just so they can visualize them and practice them at home to get them correct. There's a written explanation of the exercise also, and then they tick a box as regards to the level of discomfort they've felt whilst doing the exercise, or if they're having any difficulty, they can drop us a quick message and we can get back to them to keep them engaged outside of the clinical hours.
Right.
One of the biggest problems we have as a profession is keeping people engaged when they're in their own time at home.
Right.
Which is it happens in every walk of life. I'm the same sometimes. So it's important to try and get to the person's level and try and deal with them at that level as such, and to be there for someone when they're having a bad day. So you can send them a message and say, look, you're doing well, just keep up the good work. Remember, life isn't a straightforward curve. It's ups and downs, and we need to remember that exercise and improvement. For injuries, the same thing. There's ups and downs, peaks and troughs.
And there's also rounds and rounds, because pizza are very popular now as takeaway. So I think a lot of people are, while you're sending that message, they're just sitting there eating a pizza thinking, maybe not today.
Maybe not today. But look, as I said, everything, it's just not doing things to too much of an extreme. It's little enough. We have to enjoy our lives as well. But I do say you'll have a good day and you'll have a bad day. Hopefully then we'll start getting more good days than bad days. But you know, life is such that sometimes you'll have a bad day, but it's not overreacting to that day. It's knowing that things will improve.
We have come a long way in Ireland, and that sort of reflection of the leap in gyms sort of, you know, reflects it. But that idea that something like Pilates wouldn't have been sort of on our radar 10, 20 years ago, but now, you know, it's very strongly kind of present in our lives. And you've got something called, is it clinical Pilates?
Right, yeah.
So what is that exactly?
So I suppose the approach of clinical Pilates is to try and get people moving through exercise, but in a safe environment as such. Pilates is an incredible thing for the body. It's a way of tying the body together as such. It's like setting a foundation for your body. I always describe it as doing exercise before you do Pilates is like building a house without a foundation.
Right.
That's a personal experience that I've had. You know, I've had bilateral knee injuries from hurling years ago, and I wasn't able to run on the roads. I was having real difficulty because of knee pain, and although I'm a clinical specialist in what I do, it's very difficult to treat yourself. But I did 6 months of ReFormer Pilates here with Platinum when I joined the team, and it just made an incredible difference. You know, I'm running kind of half marathon distance now and managing it quite well. Not that I'm an avid runner, but I try and run 2 or 3 times a week, but it's just the ability to be able to get out and run, because I suppose the proximal stability or core stability is a really important element to tie the body together. It's the foundation for the whole body as such, and for movement in particular. The beauty of using the equipment that we use in this clinical Pilates approach is it's a safe environment for someone who has a fear of movement because of pain and injury. We all get a fear of movement once we get injured, and we often feel that actually movement's going to make things worse. Right. When we know from research and from life in general that movement actually improves the quality of your life, and also often decreases pain in the correct circumstances. So we try and use that approach as much as possible.
I'm thinking now that you're into a blood sport like hurling, and I don't know if that was a sort of, you know, a road to Damascus moment that you recognised when you got injured just what can be done, or whether you're already on that path of being, you know, a physio. And
I'm blessed, you know, to say if you do what you love, you never work a day in your life, and I'm certainly one of those people. So I'm really blessed. I hope I show that passion to my patients, because I've wanted to be a physio since I was a child. You know, since I've had numerous little injuries, as you say, from hurling. And I was always intrigued by what the physiotherapist was doing to try and get people back out on the pitch. But you know, we've such a place in society now from a physio point of view. I think we really have a big part to play in regards to getting people back out there and getting them moving. The beauty of, as I say, of this clinical Pilates, I've seen it through years of working in the NHS, in particular over in the UK, working with consultants, that people really fear, you know, pain. Pain is a real fear for people. Now we know from once again, always going back to the research, because we're very much a research-based profession, that pain is a product of the mind as well as the body. So, for instance, if someone is feeling a particular level of pain due to a certain injury, another person can feel a completely different level of pain. And that all comes down to previous, you know, incidents that would have happened in their lives, and how their brain has changed and adapted throughout that period of time. So in here we try and break down that and explain that to patients as well. You know, that just because you're feeling a level of pain, it doesn't mean you have a certain type of tissue damage. It doesn't equate to damage to your tissue. Right. Once people understand that, and if they think, then, you know what, maybe I can move a little bit more, and although it's giving me a little bit of pain at this moment, as I do this, my brain will start to almost re-regulate, and I may not feel as much pain, and we've certainly seen that's the case throughout our treatments.
Well, yeah, when you think about it, people, you know, who get a flat tire, there's a million different ways to react to that. You know, you can absolutely go crazy and feel that your day is ruined, or you can just say, I'll go and fix that now and get back on the road.
By the way, there will be days where we'll all go crazy and we'll think, you know, this exercise isn't for me, but that's okay. You know, it's just understanding that that's okay. I suppose we try and set people up for those bad days as well. You know, if someone's prepared for a bad day is a lot easier, if that makes sense. So if we can have that discussion early on. The key thing that I see as a physio, and the more experience I get, the more time I spend speaking to people, and just literally talking to them about, you know, what's going on in their lives at that time, because all that affects, you know, their pain and discomfort that they're having. We're trying to become very proactive when it comes to the physiotherapy viewpoint. As a nature, as So as a profession, we're quite reactive because we treat people when they're injured.
Right.
Whereas we're trying to develop, I suppose, a system that we're trying to get to people before they get injured, so we can assess them and see where they have weaknesses and where they may have, tightnesses and discomfort and possibility of injury, and trying to, rectify that before someone gets injured.
A few preemptive strikes can help a lot.
Yeah, well, it makes sense, doesn't it? Absolutely.
Now we should say you're right here in the middle of town, which is a lovely spot to be in. Yeah. It's a gorgeous building. The lighting today is kind of crazy. I'd hope now for there are mostly beautiful people in Greystones, but there's a few ugly ones. You've got good lighting. When people step out, they will look great, right? Because you've got good lighting at the doorway and stuff. Because when you take that step out back into the real world, you want to make sure that people go, holy crap, look at that person. They look great.
Absolutely. And look, more importantly, what we're really investing in here is we want people to feel great. Feel great from head to toe, and feel, I suppose, leave with a bit of a pep in their step. Our pathway is specifically designed to start with someone when they're at their lowest ebb, and to build them back to where they want to be as such. We're really trying to push against the side of our profession that has numerous different physiotherapy appointments. Certainly there's people that are stuck in a cycle of hands-on physiotherapy treatment. We do use hands-on. We're very passionate about hands-on physiotherapy, but we try not to overuse it. So we realise that there's a point that physiotherapy, hands-on physiotherapy intervention is important, and then there's a point where it's time to get someone moving. So we try and use a system to get someone from A to B as such in the quickest and most safe manner.
I suppose the most important question as to wrap up is, I did have a quick look around. I'm not sure, where's the bar in here? Is there a bar? Is it at the back or?
Well, there's a bar here that we used to use for bar Pilates actually.
Oh, okay, well, that might do.
That's the closest bar that we might get. But yeah, look, my last piece of advice is just for people just to try and get out there, get moving. Yeah, whether you come and see us or not, the important thing is just get out there and use your body. It's the most amazing gift that we've been given. So just use it as much as you can.
Beautiful. You wouldn't like, maybe we should finish with a song. It just feels like we're getting to a point. You want to break? No?
Yeah.